but your bottom of your bell, where your actual shaft comes down, some motors have an Allen key, some of them's got C-clips. That right there is beveled enough to where it's kind of countersunk to where it shouldn't be grinding. I don't know if you've ever had that problem. I have. So when you go and set up your quad on Betaflight, turn it on or ramp up your motors a little bit, and you start hearing this growling, and you're wondering what's going on. Is my motors, crap, even though they're brand new? Sometimes that little C-clip will spin around and actually catch down there, so that's a nice little plus there. I hope that you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, these look like the longer ones. That's actually going to be for the flight controller. Screws that go up through the bottom. Remember, I've never built one of these, so just bear with me. That looks like the screws that's actually for the standoffs. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6 right there. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. This must be I'm sure y'all are laughing at me. Kind of laughing at myself right now. Okay, looks like these so your countersunk is going to be on the bottom. And look, these don't just slip in like normal, just slip right up in there. It's actually tight, which is a good thing. Back it out a little bit so I can get a good run into this bracket. That's like a support bracket. Yep, that's the screws right there. This already feels really good. Take my other arm. Make sure everything's lined up. I'm just going to keep these kind of loose for the time being. I'm just going to snug them up just a little bit tighter. That's too floppy. I love it. So smooth. Alright, got this part on. These are just barely snug to keep them from flopping around. Beautiful X. TRUEX. That's so nice. Alright, so what next? What am I doing? Putting the camera mount on. Not sure if I'm doing this correct. Alright, so we need the longer screws. This is going to go up for the flight controller standoffs. Very nice titanium. I like that gunmetal gray look to it. So we're going to put this in the very bottom. It's countersunk. Hope and pray this is the actual right screw. Looks like it. Make sure your holes are lining up. What you know, if you're going to be building this, I'm sure it's probably not your first one, unless you got lucky. You got one of probably the nicest frames out there, which would be great. I'm proud if you are on your first build with a Astrox. I've done anything with for this one to start off with, but my first one was a, what is that thing called? A Martian? No, not a Martian. It's a Wizard X220. Let me just take these out. Well, that one's a little bit looser. But when I first got it, I was so happy about getting it. I took it out, started flying it. My first crash, which was because them Wizards from the factory had issues with the motor shorting out because the screws were too long going into the bottom of the bell. So of course my ESC or my flight controller ended up having a issue, and it glitched out. So I ended up having a flip of death, unfortunately. So when it crashed, it ended up splitting that like 1.5 millimeter top mount, or the top of the frame, just broke it all pieces. So I said, you know, this is ridiculous. If this is going to be the way it is flying these, I might as well quit now. So, you know, I ended up chatting around online and found out that the Alien was a really great frame. Carbon fiber that resembles what this one's made. And really, I mean, it was my best frame. It was most durable. So, you know, I know that you see these cheap frames online, or cheap ready to flies. They're cheap for a reason, and you get what you pay for, honestly. But if you can start off with something that's durable, like Alien, Astrox, even Astro's old frames were really nice. I hear. Never owned one. First one of these I've owned. But if you can start off with something pretty nice, you ain't going to get that bad taste in your mouth to begin with. So, alright, so we got to this point. Now the standoffs. Which screw is it? These seem a little bit shorter. This has got 4 screws for something. I'm doing this all on the fly too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6. Could be extra. Yeah, this is for the... This really does look like it's for... I'm thinking it's actually going to be for the camera mount, possibly. I could be wrong, but let's just see what we've got here. Countersunk, of course, is going to be for anything that's let's see. Let's just try it. Got 4 screws there. Look at me, being a dummy already. Let's just do this. Concave screw with this side, which is not for the camera side. Another countersunk side here, of course. So I got that.